Welcome back. Let's talk about how to solve the most difficult problems in business. Einstein had famously said that if he had an hour to solve a difficult problem, he would spend the first 55 minutes just thinking about the problem and then the remaining 5 minutes on the solution. This is because most of the problems appear difficult because of a lot of assumptions that have been made unconsciously. As you spend more time thinking about the problem, the assumptions get exposed. It's like peeling the onion of assumptions. Once you get to the fundamental truths and reason up from there, it suddenly becomes much easier to solve the problem. This is also known as first principles thinking. But it's not so easy as it sounds because we're constantly making assumptions without even realizing it. Let's take an example to illustrate this. Say if a person is 20 years old in 2005 and you're asked to calculate the age of this person in 2015, you would say that's easy. Just add 10 years to the age, which means the person would be 30 years old in 2015. But here, you unconsciously made an assumption that we are in AD. What if we were in BC? If we were in BC, then this person who is 20 years old in 2005 would actually be 10 years old in 2015 if it was BC. So, like in this example, we are making constant assumptions all day long. And one of the reasons why our problems becomes difficult is because of a lot of these assumptions that we have made, which has really made the problem look difficult to us. In first principle thinking, you remove all the assumptions till you get to the fundamental truths. But most people stop at facts, thinking facts are truths. But facts are not truth. Let me explain. Facts are things that everybody agrees upon. Let's take an example. The sun revolving around the earth was a fact once upon a time. Everybody agreed to it. But it was not a truth because later it was found that it's the earth that's revolving around the sun. So fact is something that can change over time. But truth is more fundamental and doesn't change over time. In physics, the truths are easy to see, like speed of light, gravity, things that don't change over time. But in other domains, facts are often confused as truths. You should not stop at the facts, but dig deeper till you hit the truth. Reasoning up from the truth will help you solve hard problems. This is exactly how Elon Musk solved a hard problem of replacing fossil fuel with rechargeable electric batteries in cars. Hear him describe in his own words.
And for batteries, they would say, oh, it's going to cost, historically it's cost $600 per kilowatt hour, and so it's not going to be much better than that in the future. And you say, no, okay, well, what are the batteries made of? So first principles would be to say, okay, what are the material constituents of the batteries? Mm-hmm. What is the spot market value of the material constituents? So you can say, okay, it's got cobalt, nickel, aluminum, carbon, and some polymers for separation, and a steel can. So break that down on a material basis and say, okay, what if we bought that in the London Metal Exchange, what would each of those things cost? Like, oh, geez, it's like $80 per kilowatt hour. Mm-hmm. So clearly, you just need to think of clever ways to take those materials and combine them into the shape of a battery cell, and you can have batteries that are much, much cheaper than anyone realizes.
Now, how do you put this into practice? There are many ways. One such way is to ask the why question multiple times. In fact, Toyota embraced this method of asking 5 whys iteratively for the root cause analysis. It's an interrogative technique used to explore the cause and effect relationship underlying a particular problem. The primary goal of the technique is to find the root cause of the defect or the problem by repeating the question why. Each answer forms the basis of the next question. There's another way to put this into practice. In the ancient times, this was known as neti neti or via negativa. Basically, it's a way of describing something by saying what it is not. You subtract instead of add. An example of this could be that if someone is having a sleep problem, instead of adding a sleeping pill to solve the problem, you subtract late night coffee that the person might be having, and if that doesn't solve it, subtract late night exercise that that person might be doing. The key is to get to the fundamental truths. And remember, truths are things that generally don't change over time, unlike facts, which can change over time. Once you've identified these truths, then you can reason up or build up from there? Jeff Bezos talks about exactly this and how it helped him build Amazon. Hear him describe in his own words.
I very frequently get the question, what's going to change in the next 10 years? And that is an interesting question. It's a very common one. I almost never get the question, what's not going to change in the next 10 years? And I submit to you that that second question is actually the more important of the two. Because you can build a business strategy around the things that are stable in time. And so as you pointed out, in our retail business, we know that customers want low prices. And I know that's going to be true 10 years from now. They want fast delivery. They want vast selection. It's impossible to imagine a future 10 years from now where a customer comes up to me and says, Jeff, I love Amazon, I just wish the prices were a little higher. You know how I love Amazon, I just wish you delivered a little more slowly. Impossible. And so the effort that we put into those things, spinning those things up, we know the energy we put into it today will still be paying dividends for our customers 10 years from now. And so those, when you have something that you know is true, even over the long term, you can afford to put a lot of energy into it.
Come learn more about it at UpTinker. We teach you how to apply this first principles thinking in building your startup. Reach out to us using the link below. And thank you for watching.